to be more kind to one another.
You're watching CBS 21 News this morning.
Off to a nice start this Wednesday morning. Things moving swiftly for us around York County. No issues that you need to worry about right now on Route 30, either crossing through a region to the east or to the west. 83 heading on up towards that Capitol Beltway looks good. The time now 5:53 a.m. That's a look at your CBS 21 traffic alert.
Trending now, Ellen DeGeneres is defending herself against backlash over her appearance at the Dallas Cowboys football game on Sunday. We may have seen it all over Twitter.
Oh yeah, it's really blown up. Well, it took an unlikely greeting on the gridiron to get people talking about the simple concept of being kind to one another, no matter your view on politics. CBS News correspondent Nora O'Donnell has the story.
It may not seem like a big deal for a celebrity to attend a football game, but I never leave my house, so it is a big deal.
Ellen and her wife, Portia de Rossi, were invited to sit in the private box of Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Former President George W. Bush and his wife Laura were also there.
But during the game, they showed a shot of George and me laughing together, and so people were upset. They thought, why is a gay Hollywood liberal sitting next to a conservative Republican president? Didn't even notice I'm holding the brand new iPhone 11. But a lot of people were mad, and they did what people do when they're mad. They tweet, but here's one tweet that I loved. This person says, Ellen and George Bush together makes me have faith in America again.
But instead of getting into the fray on social media, Ellen used the moment to preach about civility.
Here's the thing. I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. We're all different, and I think that we've forgotten that that's okay, that we're all different. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone. Doesn't matter.
And that was Nora O'Donnell reporting. You know, I think it's more than just okay to surround yourself with people who have different opinions from you. I think it's essential. I think it develops you more as a human being. It makes you more well-rounded, and it's okay to disagree with people. It doesn't have to cause all this hatred.
I think it's a reminder of everything going on in our country and all the tension that not everything's a bipartisan issue. Right. I mean, you can have friends on both sides of the aisle. You can, agree to disagree, and Ellen is an incredible example of that.
She really is.
Pretty cool story. Remember, you can catch Ellen DeGeneres right here on CBS 21 weekdays at 4 p.m., and that's right before CBS 21 News at 5. Going into the lab as the FDA investigates possible cancer-causing chemicals in some heartburn drugs. CBS News officials discover their own surprising evidence. What they found happens to the pill once inside your body. Plus, funding for firefighters, how much money state officials are dedicating, and what it will be used for.
You're watching CBS 21 News this morning.
Members of Congress come from many walks of life and are elected officials who are supposed to be leaders. But since the start of the 116th Congress, how many successes can we point to that they have actually accomplished? None. Congress will be back in session on Tuesday, October 15th, after a 2-week recess. Before their break, the main thing the Democrat-led House of Representatives focused on was starting the empty impeachment inquiry into President Trump over a whistleblower complaint concocted by someone who had no direct knowledge of what occurred on a call between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Congress has ignored the potential success of the USMCA trade deal. Speaker Pelosi has not even brought it to the floor. Last week, Pelosi said the Democrats are, quote, making progress on the deal, but still need more assurances. What is more assuring than a plan intended to help American farmers and manufacturers? The American people elected these officials to ensure fair trade, drive down prescription drug costs, fix our broken immigration system, enhance our infrastructure, and increase school safety. Unfortunately, this has all been put on hold thanks to the do-nothing Democrats. Here's the bottom line. Congress has gotten nothing done this year because Democrats are more interested in removing our duly elected president than working with Republicans to protect and serve the American people. That is a disgrace and a massive waste of taxpayer dollars.
Live from central Pennsylvania, this is CBS 21 News this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us. I'm Jessie McDonough Here's what's happening in the news today. The White House and Democrats take more jabs over the impeachment inquiry. The new actions both sides are taking. Plus, authorities trying to calm nerves after a shooting near Shippensburg University. What they say a search at the suspect's apartment revealed about the incident. And a former high school building goes up in flames. Why officials believe this was no accident. But first, let's get a check of the weather with Steve Knight.
Well, we've been telling you about this coastal low, and it's set up out in the Atlantic. And what it's doing here this morning is bringing some showers to those areas south and east of Harrisburg. In fact, the steadiest rain that we're seeing here this morning is southeastern York County and then into Lancaster County, downtown Lancaster, right along the Route 30 corridor, parts of 283, even up toward the Turnpike. But meanwhile, around the immediate Harrisburg region, Capital Beltway, cloudy, but mainly dry, and that extends over into good portions of the West Shore and Carlisle. So this coastal low is going to just basically sit out in the Atlantic, continue to bring us some cloud chances, some rain chances, especially during the first half of the day today. And best chance for seeing showers today is going to be those areas south and east of Harrisburg. Other spots north and west are going to stay mainly dry. We're holding the 60s here as we head toward the weekend.
The White House is done cooperating with the impeachment inquiry. A letter by President Trump's lawyers sent last night says Democrats are seeking to reverse the 2016 election. And as Mark Liverman reports, Democrats quickly shot back, warning the president that he will be held accountable.
The White House says it will not participate in what it calls an unconstitutional impeachment inquiry into President Trump. A scathing 8-page letter to top Democrats states the probe lacks any legitimate constitutional foundation, any pretense of fairness, or even the most elementary due process protections.
Mr. President, are you daring Nancy Pelosi to make a vote?
The Trump administration has said the House must take a formal vote to open the probe, which would give both sides more legal power to fight their battles.
The facts and the Constitution. That's what it's about.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats vowed to press on with their investigations. Yesterday, they fired off subpoenas after the administration blocked a key witness from testifying about President Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president.
The President and Secretary of State are taking actions that prevent us from getting the facts needed to protect the nation's security.
Lawmakers were set to ask U.S. Ambassador to the European Union Gordon Sondland about text messages he and other diplomats sent about a possible quid pro quo with Ukraine.
This whole thing is a fairy tale.
Republicans claim the investigation has turned into a kangaroo court.
And Chairman Schiff is acting like a malicious Captain Kangaroo.
Democrats expect Sondland to turn over documents and testify by next week. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Sondland, who had traveled from Europe to Washington to testify, said through his lawyer that he was profoundly disappointed to not testify. New details about a double shooting near Shippensburg University that left one person dead and another with serious injuries. Police now saying the murder was isolated and directly related to drugs.
We're doing everything we can to keep not only the Shippensburg University students safe, but also the public in general.
The two persons of interest, Quentin Furlow and Clayton Wilson, remain on the run. They say Furlow may be driving a 2011 Infiniti 637 and Wilson may be driving a 2009 Nissan Maxima. A fire at an old school in Harrisburg is under investigation. The old William Penn High School near Italian Lake caught fire just after 5 o'clock last night. Witnesses say a couple of kids were seen leaving the building around that time. The building is vacant and we're told there is no electricity or gas. Firefighters say these are signs that the fire was intentionally set.
So we're going to review some camera footage and see what we can find on that camera footage, see if anybody of interest comes out of that, in the next day or so, and see if any leads maybe come out of the community of somebody that knew something, or maybe maybe somebody will want to talk to the police department, knowing that they know who set the fire.
Chief Brian Enterline also tells us the fire broke out in the woodshed area of the school, so there were a lot of things to burn. They were able to quickly get the fire under control. And the Red Cross is assisting 4 people who were displaced because of a fire in Cumberland County. This fire broke out last night in the 400 block of 7th Street in New Cumberland. It was a residential duplex. No word on the cause, no injuries reported.
And we're following the latest developments out of the Middle East this morning, where officials say Turkey's invasion of Syria is imminent. Just in, Kurdish leaders are issuing a general mobilization along the border with Turkey. This as Ankara masses its troops. The Kurds say they plan to carry out acts of resistance while calling on international leaders to live up to their responsibilities as a, quote, humanitarian catastrophe might befall our people. Turkey has long viewed Kurdish fighters in Syria as terrorists, and this all follows President Trump's abrupt announcement over the weekend to withdraw troops from Syria ahead of that Turkish push.
Officials with the Department of Health are reminding people across the state to get the flu shot. CBS 21's Joe Ducey is live at the Capitol with why now is the time to get vaccinated.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Jesse. The flu season doesn't typically peak until January or February, but health officials saying they're already starting to see cases pop up across the state. The flu is, of course, contagious, and it's caused by the influenza virus. It attacks the nose, throats, and lungs, and symptoms may include fever, headache, and body ache. The best way to prevent the flu is to get vaccinated each year. Everyone 6 months and older should get a flu vaccine each season. It takes about 2 weeks for the antibodies from the vaccine to develop to protect against the infection. Well, the vaccine isn't 100% effective. Even if you get sick, getting vaccinated now will decrease the length and severity of the flu if you do get it.
Which is important because when we talk about the flu, it's an illness that can put people in the hospital, and it also can last 7 to 10 days. So decreasing how long it lasts, maybe 5 to 7 days as opposed to 7 to 10, and then not having those severe symptoms where you have to go to the hospital for fluids or for any other complications is really important.
And of course, another great way to help prevent the spread of the flu, cover your nose and mouth when you cough or sneeze. Wash your hands often and stay home from work or school if you're not feeling well and you think you may have come down with the flu. For now, reporting live in Harrisburg, Joe Ducey, CBS 21 News.
Thank you, Joe. A Philadelphia jury has decided that Johnson & Johnson and Janssen Pharmaceuticals should pay $8 billion after being sued over an antipsychotic drug. The plaintiff's attorney says the drug called Risperdal is linked to the growth of female breast tissue in boys. The companies are accused of illegally marketing and promoting the drug. The companies say they are confident the verdict will be overturned. The nation's 3 largest pharmacy chains have stopped selling the popular heartburn drug Zantac after the FDA warned this month it may contain a potentially dangerous impurity. But a CBS News investigation found the problem may not just be an impurity, but something much more serious.
And in a variety of conditions of the lab, conditions of the human body, it can break down and then form the carcinogen NDMA.
You're saying the ranitidine itself can break down and form NDMA?
Correct.
The FDA defines NDMA as a cancer-causing substance. CBS This Morning is breaking this all down, plus why Zantac is still being sold, but generic versions are issuing recalls. That story airs at 7:30 this morning, right here on CBS 21. A historic election for the capital of Alabama. Who the city just elected to serve as mayor of Montgomery and how he's reacting to the big win. Plus, a major blackout in California overnight, why the electric company is cutting power to hundreds of thousands of customers.
Well, some spots waking up wet, others not so much. I'll tell you what we can expect here moving forward with my first morning forecast. Well, one of those weather days where it is, just like real estate, all about location. Let's show you what we have here on First Warning Radar. And you can see some spots, especially south and east of Harrisburg, waking up to showers. Steadiest rain we have right now is through Lancaster County, then down through southeast York County. But heads up along Route 30, also downtown Lancaster, some pretty good showers there. Then meanwhile, around the Harrisburg region, really not all that much. A spot shower right around Dillsburg, but over towards Carlisle, we're dry. Capitol Beltway is dry. Once you get up toward Lewistown and State College, they're actually waking up to mainly clear skies. Rain chances do diminish here moving forward, but best chances to see rain today, thanks to this coastal area of low pressure, are going to be those areas that are seeing it right now, south and east of Harrisburg. So just be prepared for a few showers out there at the bus stop. Temperatures in the mid-50s, some clouds this afternoon. Look for a high right around 64.
Well, a nice and dry and fairly quiet start for us this morning in Lancaster County. Not too much going on our roadways is going to affect you right now, so not a whole lot of slow go if you're going to be hopping on Route 30, crossing through our region. No issues if you're going to be making your way over towards York. 283 heading on up towards the Capitol Beltway looks good. Same goes for 222 if you're going to be making a trip south. That's look at your CBS 21 traffic alert.
Thanks, Ashley. Auditor General Eugene DePasquale is releasing nearly $60 million in aid to support volunteer firefighters across Pennsylvania. He made the announcement during a visit to the Silton Fire Department in Dauphin County yesterday.
This funding helps our dedicated emergency responders to save lives and protect property in communities all across Pennsylvania.
Relief associations use the money to purchase equipment, fund critical training, and provide insurance for thousands of volunteer firefighters. We're told this $60 million is about $5 million more than what was made available last year. Millions of people in California will lose electricity this week. It'll be the largest preventative outage in state history to try to avert wildfires caused by faulty lines. PG&E began turning off power to 800,000 customers in 34 counties overnight. They say they're expecting some weather conditions that'll be perfect for spreading fire.
These strong, dry, gusty winds are going to be combined with low relative humidity levels, and they'll lead to some dangerous fire weather.
PG&E is defending its decision to shut off power, saying it's their last resort. Customers should be without power for 5 days. Senator Sanders feeling the burn on this hectic schedule, what the presidential hopeful is saying about future campaign events, and why he says he should have seen the signs of this recent health scare.
Let this go far beyond Montgomery, let it go far beyond Alabama, and let it go far beyond this nation, that we made a statement here tonight, and I thank all of you for being a part of that.
Voters in Montgomery, Alabama have elected the first black mayor in the city's 200-year history. Stephen Reed won yesterday's runoff election by a wide margin over his white businessman opponent. Reed will be the first African-American mayor of the city, where Southern delegates voted to form the Confederacy in 1861.
The only thing that can hold us back is our fears. And if we will embrace the faith, if we will embrace the belief that we can do more together than we can apart, I promise you there's nothing that we won't accomplish.
Reed has been a judge in Montgomery since 2012. The fifth Democratic presidential debate will be held in Georgia November 20th. At least 8 candidates have already qualified for it. They include former President Joe Biden, Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and Kamala Harris, and Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Democratic candidates will face off in their 4th debate on October 15th. That debate will be hosted by CNN and the New York Times in Ohio. Senator Sanders says he's going to be making some changes to his presidential campaign by scaling back the number of daily events he does. This after he had a heart attack last week.
So we're going to, probably not do 3 or 4 rallies a day, do 2 or do other events as well.
Well, it's also something that the entire campaign, and especially me, have been saying for months, not for his health, but for the ability to keep up that kind of a pace for everybody else, too.
The Vermont senator also says he was dumb not to have paid attention to the symptoms he experienced before his heart attack, saying in the last month or two he was more fatigued than usual. And the number of the day looks at the impeachment proceedings against President Trump. 51% of Democratic voters believe the president is likely to be impeached and removed from office. However, a ScottRasmussen.com national survey found a big difference when compared to other political parties. 27% of independents and only 20% of Republicans think the possibility of impeachment is likely.
And now, CBS 21 News First Warning Weather with meteorologist Steve Knight.
Well, as we all know, very dry, hot month in September. Really going back to July 1st, we've had a big rainfall deficit of nearly 5 inches. So this has been some much needed rain, about a ½ an inch Sunday, a little more than that on Monday, and yesterday officially about 1/10 of an inch of rain. But you add it all up, it's about 1.25 inches, which is the wettest stretch of weather we've had since the second half of June. So nice to get this rain in here. I know it's been fairly dreary. Waking up to some showers here again this morning. This is a result of that coastal low that's out in the Atlantic. The steadiest rain that we're seeing right now is through Lancaster County, downtown Lancaster. Decent little downpour right now that kind of extends along the 222 corridor, heading down toward Corryville, down toward the PA-Maryland line. Steadier rain in York has kind of tapered off for now. Folks around Harrisburg not really picking up too much of anything. It's cloudy. You may just have a little bit of patchy drizzle, but even fairly dry over toward Mechanicsburg and Carlisle. Anything but dry out west. Just want to take you out here quick and show you what's happening. You know, that area in Montana that had the snowstorm, the big snow over 4 feet. back in September. They're getting another major snowstorm in Montana, and as we head into the weekend, that's going to drift over toward the Dakotas. So our weather is going to be dominated by this coastal low here the next couple of days. A lot of cloud cover, some occasional showers, especially in those areas that are seeing rain here this morning. York, Lancaster, Lebanon counties, and extending over toward Berks County. I think by Friday, a lot of this starts to ever so slowly kind of pinwheel away from us. Rain chances do go down as we go throughout the day. Best chance we have for seeing these showers is during the first half of the day, but still that shower chance around, and again, especially southeast of Harrisburg this afternoon. From a temperature standpoint, going to be coming in about where we should be here. Our average high right now is 66 degrees. That's about where we're going to hover. A little warmer Friday, Saturday. Then we get a cold front that comes through Saturday night. That's going to produce some quick showers, I think, Saturday evening. Cool us back a little bit on Sunday. Sunday's high looks to be right around 64, but I think it's going to be a pretty nice day. In the meanwhile, we've got the clouds that are stubborn here, especially some morning showers here. 64 degrees, high temp for today. Tonight, a lot of clouds, don't see much rain. I think we should be okay. Just like last night, kind of cloudy, but getting into evening plans. 48, the overnight low. And here's the rest of your first warning, 7-day forecast. So I think mainly dryable tomorrow. And especially on Fridays, we continue to deal with that coastal low. Cold front on Saturday will produce some showers. I think they're quick movers during the evening hours Saturday night, then clearing back out again on Sunday. Sunday's high will be in the mid-60s.
All right. Thanks, Steve. What happens in space doesn't stay in space. That's why today NASA is launching a mission to study and explore the connection between Earth's weather and space.
Yeah, and this morning we're getting the latest space weather forecast from a NASA scientist before ICON's liftoff. Alex Young, a scientist from NASA, joins us live from the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. Dr. Young, thanks so much for being with us here this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, just like the weather here on Earth, the conditions in space constantly changing. What's today's space weather forecast?
Well, right now it's actually pretty calm, but there's still lots of things happening in the upper atmosphere that are coming from activity on the sun. The sun is relatively calm, but there's a constant blow of solar wind coming from it, and it's creating this crazy environment in our upper atmosphere.
Dr. Young, from 360 miles above Earth, ICON will see beautiful swirls of red, green light in the atmosphere. What is this colorful glow?
Well, this glow is called air glow, and it's the energy coming originally from the sun that's interacting with our upper atmosphere that's giving us these amazing greens and reds. And this air glow is going to be studied by the ICON mission, the Ionospheric Connection Explorer. Taking pictures of that is enabling us to study the dynamics, see how that's changing, and tell us about the weather in space in this layer up near where aurora occur and where the ISS astronauts are living.
Well, Dr. Young, if you could explain how space weather affects us here on Earth.
Well, all of this dynamic phenomena, it disrupts communication signals, in particular GPS signals, certain types of radio signals. And so what's happening up in space is having a direct impact on our technology and our ability to communicate and actually go about our daily lives. So it's critical that we understand this so we understand how it affects you and I.
Dr. Alex Young, thank you so much for your time this morning, again from the Goddard Space Center in Maryland. Interesting stuff. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to check out ICON.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again. Nearly half of all Americans are finding extra work outside their full-time jobs. We'll tell you the surprise motivation behind the side hustle.
You're watching CBS 21 News this morning.
No problems for us moving around Harrisburg this morning. The Capitol Beltway is accident-free. Same goes for those inner-city Harrisburg roads that we're watching right now. All green on our map, and this is always a nice way to start our morning. A very happy Wednesday to you. Our river routes are in the clear. Same goes for the PA Turnpike. No issues for you as you're moving through that York Split or the Eisenhower interchange. That's a look at your CBS 21 traffic alert.
Thanks, Ashley. A lawsuit claims the popular game Fortnite is just as addictive and potentially harmful as cocaine. A Montreal-based law firm has launched the class action lawsuit on behalf of two parents. They claim when a person is engaged in Fortnite for a long period, the player's brain releases the pleasure hormone dopamine, and that Fortnite was developed by psychologists, statisticians, and others to develop the most addictive game possible. The company that published Fortnite hasn't commented on the lawsuit. And if you're earning extra money from a job that brings you joy, you're part of the side hustle economy. A new Bankrate survey finds 43% of all Americans with full-time jobs say they have a job outside their primary work. Financial experts say side hustles are different than second jobs like driving an Uber. Those kinds of jobs necessary to pay rent or put food on the table spiked following the 2008 financial crisis.
Side hustles are fun, and it should be fun. If it's not fun, then you're probably not doing the right side hustle.
The author of the survey says side hustles are becoming more mainstream in all age groups and income brackets. Voting should be accessible to everyone, but there's some worry in a local county that not everyone is getting the chance to cast their ballot. A look at some of the problems at the polls. Plus, a lawsuit being filed over a medical marijuana policy. Why some who need the treatment say they're being denied. Joe.
The flu season isn't expected to peak for a few more months, but coming up, we'll tell you why health officials say now is the time to get vaccinated.
You're watching CBS 21 News this morning.
Well, it all depends on where you're at. Lots of spots waking up to cloudy conditions, but mainly dry. Others seeing a pretty good shower, especially through Lancaster County. You could see that swath of steadier rain downtown Lancaster, basically right along that 222 corridor, Quarryville, and as you make your way down toward Muddy Run and down toward the PA-Maryland line. Meanwhile, back across the Harrisburg area, clouds, couple of sprinkles, maybe some patchy drizzle, but not much in terms of rain. This is all the result of this coastal low. So rain chances will continue here today, again, especially south and east of Harrisburg, but areas up toward Lewistown State College, mainly clear as we start out the day. So it's all kind of depending on your location. Thanks to that coastal low, do expect some early showers. Temperatures holding in the 60s here as we head toward the weekend.
Police in Shippensburg are stepping up patrols after a deadly shooting near the university. And while the two suspected gunmen remain on the run, Brendan Kinney tells us why they say the public is not in danger.
Pennsylvania State Police hoping to calm fears following a deadly shooting in Shippensburg. Investigators saying the murder was isolated and directly related to drugs.
The troopers working the investigation around the clock are making significant progress in search of the truth and bringing those responsible for the murder to justice. Two 21-year-olds from Philadelphia shot Sunday night near the Shippensburg University campus. Shakur Myers found dead. Samir Stevenson recently downgraded from critical condition. State police naming two persons of interest, Quentin Furlow and Clayton Wilson. They're both Shippensburg University students, 20 years old and from Philadelphia. Police searching their High Street apartment on Monday. Inside, multiple rounds of ammunition and marijuana. Stevenson, who was injured in the shooting, is facing drug and receiving stolen property charges. Wilson is facing drug charges.
I wish that it hadn't happened, but it did happen, and you can't blame it on college or town or even drugs or the big debate about should we have guns. You know, every person makes their own decision of what they should do in their life and what is right and what is wrong.
As for the car where Myers was found dead and Stevenson injured, troopers found a stolen handgun nearby. Marijuana, a scale, and money were also found.
We're doing everything we can to keep not only the Shippensburg University students safe, but also the public in general.
For CBS 21 News, I'm Brendan Kinney.
A fire at a former high school in Harrisburg is being investigated as arson. Fire officials believe someone started the blaze in the wood shop of what used to be William Penn. The fire broke out around 5 o'clock last night, and witnesses say they saw kids coming out of the building around that time. The fire was quickly put out, and no injuries were reported. Fire officials say this would not be the first time kids have set fire to the vacant building. Happening today, the acting Secretary of State will present Adams County commissioners with a check for new voting systems. The money is their share of federal funding. Last year, the Department of State told all counties to select new voting systems by the end of 2019, and they'll need to be in place by the 2020 primary. They also have to provide a paper record and meet 21st century standards of security, audibility, and accessibility. Meanwhile, a new audit by the Department of Justice shows not all polling locations in York County are ADA compliant. It indicates 23 out of the 25 polling locations randomly surveyed during the November 2018 election were not accessible to everyone. The county is already looking for a solution, and one could be changing polling locations to schools and precincts.
Because schools are ADA compliant, schools are in every area of the county, and schools provide a lot of space to conduct elections.
York County is waiting until after the November 5th election to begin the review process of 159 polling locations. The battle between the White House and House Democrats is escalating. The White House says it will not cooperate with the impeachment inquiry, calling it unconstitutional. The Trump administration also blocked testimony yesterday from the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, just hours before he was set to appear at Capitol Hill.
It's based on the unfair and partisan process that Mr. Schiff has been running.
The failure to produce this witness, the failure to produce these documents, we consider yet additional strong evidence of obstruction.
Top Democrats fired off a subpoena compelling Sondland to testify and turn over documents by next week. It's that time of year. Health officials are reminding people across the Keystone State that now is the best time to get vaccinated against the flu. CBS 21's Joe Ducey joins us live at the Capitol. And Joe, flu season doesn't typically peak until the winter months, but we're already starting to see some cases pop up across the state.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Jesse. That's one of the reasons health experts say between now and the end of October is really the time you want to get vaccinated against the flu. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed to prevent the flu, but getting vaccinated now will decrease the length of the time you have the flu and decrease the severity if you do end up getting it. The flu is, of course, contagious. It's caused by the influenza virus. It attacks the nose, throat, and lungs, and symptoms may include headache, fever, and body aches. Everyone 6 months and older is advised to get a flu vaccine each season. It takes about 2 weeks for the antibodies in the vaccine to develop protection against the flu.
So the people that would be most impacted from influenza, from the flu virus, would be young children, pregnant women, seniors, and those with other types of medical conditions.
And of course, another way to help prevent the spread of the virus, cover your nose and mouth when you sneeze and cough, wash your hands often, and of course, stay home from work or school if you think you may be coming down with the flu. For now, we're reporting live outside the state capitol. Joe Ducey, CBS 21 News.
Thanks, Joe. Important information. A new lawsuit is challenging a policy on medical marijuana in Lebanon County. The American Civil Liberties Union claims the policy prohibits people from using marijuana if they're on probation or any other types of supervision, even if they're on the state registry. Patients impacted by the policy are speaking out.
I just want to be normal again and feel normal. I don't feel normal. I can't get up every morning and know that I'm going to have a good day and I'm not going to be sick.
The policy was imposed last month. We're told 6 other Pennsylvania counties also consider medical marijuana use a violation of community supervision. From the hardwood to hardball, a tweet has China pulling the plug on NBA games, how the standoff is causing problems that go beyond basketball. Plus, Penn State officials responding to a letter criticizing one of its football players. Wyatt as head coach James Franklin highlighting the diversity amongst his team.
Well, some spots are waking up fairly wet, others not so much. I'll let you know we can expect the return of some sunshine with my first warning forecast.
You're watching CBS 21 News this morning.
Now, many spots cloudy but dry. Other areas, we're seeing a pretty good shower right now, especially through Lancaster County. This is all the result of a coastal area of low pressure that's set up off the coast of New Jersey and the mid-Atlantic. And as a result, areas south and east of Harrisburg, best chances today to see showers. And you can see that's happening right now downtown Lancaster, up 222 as you head up toward Ephrata and Brownstown. Meanwhile, around Harrisburg, a lot of clouds. You may see a sprinkle or some patchy drizzle, but even that extends back toward Carlisle. Beyond that, it's mainly dry. Rain chances definitely going down here second half of the day, although I do think we're socked in with some clouds, again, especially those areas to the south and to the east. So some kids out there at the bus stop, we showed you where. Be prepared for some showers, temperatures in the mid-50s. And by the time we get to this afternoon, some breaks, even some peaks of sunshine, especially north and west of Harrisburg with highs in the mid-60s.
And we're off to a nice smooth start working our way around York this morning and really all across central PA. Our major roadways have been in the clear as far as accidents go. So go ahead and take a look at your map right now. Everything in York City doing all right. We're seeing a little bit of slow go there on Route 30 as you're making your way inbound to the city from either direction, but that's kind of typical for this time of morning. It is 6:40 a.m. 83 making your way up towards that York split. Looks good. No issues on Route 30 crossing over the Susquehanna towards Lancaster. That's a look at your CBS 21 traffic alert.
Thanks, Ashley. In state news this morning, new documents are painting a picture of what led to the deaths of two siblings in Berks County. We've learned 3 days before they died, they were found hanged inside their Hamburg home. The children's mother called 911 after finding her 8-year-old and 4-year-old unresponsive in the basement. Our sources tell CBS 21 certain individuals in the home were known to CYS, but the family was not receiving services at that time.
Whenever we look at a child fatality, it's real easy for us to come to conclusions and assume that there's somebody who did something wrong. And I think that we have to take a really careful look at child fatalities and what are those underlying reasons.
As of now, no one has been charged in the case. The U.S. Supreme Court is denying an appeal for the former Pennsylvania judge convicted in the infamous Kids for Cash scandal. It's the second denial for former Luzerne County Judge Mark Ciavarella. He was convicted in 2011 of accepting bribes in exchange for sending kids to a for-profit detention center. Ciavarella has denied any wrongdoing. Governor Wolf is unveiling a plan that would raise the state's minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025. It would start with a raise to $12 by the end of the year. His bill would then raise the wage 50 cents each year. The governor says his plan would save tax dollars in public assistance. Republicans believe it'll hurt small business. It's one of the largest indoor horse shows in the nation and it's taking place in Harrisburg. We're getting you ready for the PA National Horse Show. The standoff between the NBA and China is escalating. It's even affecting a long-running animated comedy. As John Lawrence reports, the Trump administration is taking action toward Chinese officials.
The ball is in China's court, but the Chinese won't be able to see it.
Everyone needs to be clear that if you are doing business in China, your political views will be sanitized in favor of the Beijing government.
China says it will not air or stream the NBA preseason games played in its country. This after Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Houston Rockets, tweeted support for the ongoing pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong. He later deleted the tweet.
We are not apologizing for Daryl exercising his freedom of expression.
Chinese broadcaster CCTV says it's also taking a close look at its overall relationship with the NBA.
We are, at the end of the day, an American-based company. Of course, we do business all around the world, but those values, those mores travel with us.
This Chinese crackdown has stretched to more than just basketball.
And anybody who would betray their ideals just to make money in China isn't worth a lick of spit.
The show South Park is basically gone from China's internet because of the episode Banned in China, which addresses how the U.S. entertainment world works to avoid offending China's censors. The show's creators offered a sarcastic apology to China on Twitter. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced visa restrictions Tuesday on Chinese officials suspected of detaining and abusing millions of Uyghur Muslims and other minorities. John Lawrence, CBS 21 News This Morning.
Penn State University officials are addressing a racist letter sent to a football player. Penn State defensive tackle Antonio Sheldon tweeted an image of the layer. It attacked player Jonathan Sutherland's hairstyle, calling dreadlocks disgusting and unattractive. It goes on to attack NFL players for their appearance as well. Head coach James Franklin says the message does not fit with the spirit of football.
You know, the football that I know and love brings people together and embraces differences. Black, white, brown, Catholic, Jewish, or Muslim, rich or poor, rural or urban, Republican or Democrat.
The letter was signed by a Penn State graduate. The university released a statement saying the letter does not align with their values. Olympic gymnast Simone Biles is still breaking records. She just won a record 21st medal at the World Gymnastics Championships yesterday. The United States retained its women's all-around title. Biles' 15th career gold medal breaks her tie with Russian gymnast Svetlana Korkina for the most medals by a woman at the World Championships. Today is the 74th annual PA National Horse Show, and it kicks off today. More than 1,400 horses and some of the best riders in the nation will be gathering in Harrisburg at the Farm Show Complex. They'll be competing for more than $650,000 in prize money. This week, the junior riders will be competing. Then the adults, including several Olympic riders, will take the stage. Proceeds benefit the PA National Horse Foundation.
And now, CBS 21 News First Warning Weather with meteorologist Steve Knight.
Well, as we all know, September, a very warm and dry month. In fact, going all the way back to the end of June, it's been very dry here in central PA. This has been some beneficial rain going back to Sunday, about a ½ inch of rain, a little more than that on Monday. Yesterday, officially, about 1/10 of an inch of rain, and that mainly came during the morning hour. You add it all up, about 1.25 inches. That's the wettest stretch of weather we have had since the second half of June. So nice to get in this rain. We still got some showers out there this morning, mainly in Lancaster County. This is a result of this coastal low that's kind of hugging the coast here. So these areas south and east of Harrisburg, best chances today to see some showers. And you can see the rain very steady right now, right along 222, then also out 322 in the 222 corridor out toward Ephrata. Meanwhile, around the Harrisburg region, some of this green you see here, not even able to reach the ground. It's cloudy. You may run into a little bit of patchy drizzle, but even out toward Mechanicsburg and Carlisle, it's mainly dry. Anything but dry out west. Just want to show you what's happening in Montana. Remember last month, these folks in Montana along the northern spine of the Rockies had that massive 4-foot snowstorm. Looks like they could be getting another whopper here next couple of days, and eventually that snow is going to drift over toward the Dakotas. Our weather being dominated by this coastal low right here, and watch, it is just going to slowly kind of sit and spin counterclockwise out in the Atlantic. Every once in a while, we get the clouds thrown back over top of us and some occasional showers. That's what we're seeing here this morning. So as a result of the fact this is hugging the coast, the best chance to see those showers are those areas to the south and east. Rain chances do diminish later on today. I think a lot of us have a good chance of being dry this afternoon and for your evening plans tonight. Average high now, we just ticked down a degree today to 66 degrees. Pretty much where we're going to be here moving forward into the weekend and even into early next week. But have the morning showers, and I think we just deal with some afternoon clouds. But again, can't rule out that shower areas south and east of Harrisburg. Look for a high today around 64 degrees. Clouds remain stubborn tonight, but just like last night, I think, mainly dry for the evening plans. An overnight low dropping down to 48. And here's the rest of your first morning 7-day forecast. So I think the clouds remain pretty stubborn tomorrow thanks to that coastal low, but mainly dry. A little better on Friday. Partly sunny skies there, upper 60s. Cold front on Saturday. I think any showers we see Saturday at this point will hold off until the evening. So outdoor plans Saturday, I'm a little bit more optimistic at this point. And then Sunday is looking like a pretty decent day with temperatures in the mid-60s.
All right, hopefully we don't get rained out.
Hopefully.
Well, we now want to take a moment to honor our hometown heroes. Here's CBS 21's Joel D. Smith with this week's Military Salutes.
CBS 21 News presents Military Salutes, sponsored by Central Penn College and Window Nation.
Specialist David Macbeth was in the U.S. Army from 1986 to 92. He served at Fort Indiantown Gap. He says he did it for the benefits, but also to serve his country. At this time, he likes to hang out with his kids, cheer on the Steelers, and is a youth leader at Community Bible Church in Marietta. He now lives in Elizabethtown. Senior Airman Haley Rutt from the PA Air National Guard is a 2013 Solanco High grad and joined the military in 2014. She said she joined for the education benefits, and you may have remembered her taking me through the obstacle course at the PA Farm Show. I think broadcasting could be in her future. If it's part of your future to get a military member honored, make sure you do it. Head over to CBS21.com and search for CBS 21 Salutes.
History being made in what was once one of America's most segregated cities. Meet the new mayor of Birmingham, Alabama, the first black man to hold the post. Plus,
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up, Allison Felix, record-breaking U.S. track star and advocate for moms. She'll be here in Studio 57. That's coming up only on CBS This Morning.
You're watching CBS 21 News This Morning.
here's Here's what you need to know before leaving today. The White House is telling House Democrats it will not cooperate with the impeachment inquiry. In a scathing 8-page letter, the president says the probe lacks legitimacy and is a kangaroo court. Democrats fired back with a letter of their own and a subpoena compelling testimony from the U.S. ambassador to the European Union. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is scaling back his campaign. It comes after he suffered a heart attack last week. Sanders says that means he likely won't be attending 4 rallies a day. The senator says he should have paid more attention to his symptoms and urges others to do the same.
Let the record show tonight, above all, show what we can do when we come together in this city.
The city of Montgomery, Alabama has elected its first black mayor. Stephen Reed served as a probate judge for the past 7 years. Reed defeated a white businessman in a city where Southern delegates voted to form the Confederacy in 1861. And in Cumberland County, police continue to search for 2 Shippensburg students wanted for questioning in the shooting death of a man. Officers say Quentin Furlow and Clayton Wilson are on the run. It's believed the deadly shooting of Shakir Myers was related to drugs. Another man was injured in the shooting. He's now facing drug charges. Police say there is no threat to the community. Harrisburg firefighters working to determine if a blaze set at the old William Penn High School was intentionally set. Skyview 21 was there as crews finished putting out the flames yesterday afternoon. Officials say it started in the woodshed area. The building is vacant with no gas or electricity.
So we're going to review some camera footage and see what we can find on that camera footage, see if anybody of interest comes out of that, in the next day or so.
Witnesses say several kids were seen leaving the building around the time the fire started.
Well, this is one of those weather days where it's just like real estate. Location, location, location. Because some spots, Lancaster County, they're waking up, need the umbrella. It's coming down at a really good clip. Other areas really not seeing much, and I don't think we'll see much throughout the day today. But you could see that swath of heavier rain, 222 down toward Quarryville, down toward Muddy Run, up toward Ephrata as well if you head up 322 in Carnarvon. Meanwhile, around Harrisburg, cloudy and patchy drizzle. That's really about it, and that extends over toward Carlisle as well. Much of Cumberland County is dry. Rain chances do diminish here during the second half of the day. The best chance to see showers today, thanks to this coastal low, is going to be areas like York, Lancaster, Lebanon County. Afternoon, though, it does look mainly dry. A lot of stubborn clouds tomorrow. Friday looks like a pretty good day. I think if we see showers over the weekend, it'll be Saturday evening. They'll move on through pretty quickly. And a nice day on Sunday, Ashley.
Taking another peek at our roads moving around Harrisburg this morning, where we're doing all right. 83, we're seeing a little bit of slow go there as you're making your way up towards that York split. But everything else around the Beltway, 83 through the Eisenhower interchange looks good. No issues for us on 81. Our river routes are problem-free too. Let's look at your CBS 21 traffic alert.
CBS this morning is coming up next. We're going to leave you with this live look into Studio 57 in New York. We want to wish good luck to our producer Ashlyn on her next adventure in Tampa.
Thank you for watching